Hey, good morning, Choice Residential. Hope your day's off to a great start. So today I want to talk about sex offenders and the Sex Offender Registry. And the question is, do you have to disclose the proximity of a registered sex offender to a listing that you take? And the answer is no. In North Carolina, the presence or proximity of a registered sex offender to a property is not a material fact that you have to proactively discover and disclose. However, if you're asked about it, you either need to answer honestly or decline to answer. But if you take a listing, you are not required to go check the sex offender registry to determine if there is a registered sex offender in the neighborhood or within a certain distance of the house. So that's not a step that you need to take with your listings. However, if you know that information and are asked about it, again, you must either answer honestly or decline to answer. Let's talk about how this relates to your buyer clients, though. In the same vein, you don't necessarily need to go with every listing that your buyer is interested in and look at the sex offender registry. You could choose to do that as an agent, but one of the things that we provide for you and actually require that buyers sign is that inspections and services disclosure. As part of what you should be sending them with the agency agreement. And that is a 4-page document that just talks about a number of different things that they should be considering and thinking about as they look for a home. And one of those things is information about the sex offender registry. So the buyer has the opportunity to go and look for that. Now, if you are working with a client that you know has a particular interest or concern in that, maybe they've told you or have children and have expressed concern about that, then it does become your obligation to either go out and find that information, or even better is to just help guide them to find that information so that they can verify and validate whatever is of particular concern to them. But it does become a material fact for your buyer client if they've told you that it is of a particular concern to them. So just be aware. Generally speaking, in North Carolina, the presence or proximity of a registered sex offender near your listing is not a material fact that you are expected to discover and disclose. But if asked about it, you need to answer honestly or decline to answer. And then for your buyer clients, you're going to have a little bit different obligation, especially if they have told you that that's of particular importance to them. And you could choose to make that part of your practice where you are going and checking the registry for any house that they are considering making an offer on. If you're going to do it for some of your clients, I would strongly encourage you to do it for all of your clients. Make that a practice that if you're going to implement that you do for every client before you make an offer on every listing. So hopefully that's helpful. If you ever have questions about that, please don't hesitate to reach out. We want to make sure that you're protected, the firm is protected, and always, most importantly, your clients are protected. So that's all I got for you today. As always, we're just a phone call away. So take care, and we'll see you next time.